Hey guys, Jay here. Welcome to another convention review. Today I'm talking about Anime Washington, which is a brand new convention. But first I should mention I always do these videos with a companion video every convention where I talk about when I do this review, there's always going to be a merch and autograph con haul video which comes out at the same time on the same day. And you can get to that up in the card or down in the description. So, like I said, Anime Washington is a brand new convention up here in Washington State, Pacific Northwest, and it takes place in Tacoma, Washington, in the Tacoma Convention Center, which I didn't even know exists, so apparently that's a thing. But, so yeah, this happened there for the weekend of the January 27th and 28th, so whenever you're watching this, you'll know. We don't know the dates for next year yet, as far as I know, but you can just look them up on Google or on their Facebook and figure that out whenever they do it. But it's whatever. So this is run by the same people who run SummerCon that happens in July. So it's a new convention, but the people know what they're doing. So they run other events throughout the year. So it's not really all that new. They know, So there's only one real bad thing that happened, and then everything else was really good. Other than the fact that it was like, it's small, so it's kind of boring. There's not as much stuff to do as like SoccerCon would have like a billion different things to do. This one didn't because it's much smaller, right? So you can understand why there's not as much stuff to do. So you might get bored a little bit faster. And with me, because I film mostly, and we weren't doing anything elaborate that's going to be like stopped for pictures every 5 minutes. So we didn't really... Like, we finished everything super early that we were doing, and we didn't even have anything else to do, so we just got to sit down for a while. And we're like, why sit down? If we're not doing anything, we should just go home if we're not going to do anything else. So on Sunday, we actually left early. We left at 2:30 when it was supposed to be over at 5 because there was nothing to do. But that's not the convention's fault. That's just what happens in a new convention. A small new convention, there's just not anything to do. That's just how it is. So we can't blame them for that. Also, they don't do anime conventions normally. They do SummerCon, which is more of a Comic-Con and more of a celebrity con because they get really big names. Like, they've gotten William Shatner and stuff like that there. Yeah, this one, it's tiny. There's nothing we can do. So, yeah, other than that, the only bad thing was parking. And that's just mostly, it made us mad because the staff at the convention center, not the convention staff, not Anime Washington staff, the actual people who work for the building, like the city employees, none of them seem to know anything about their own building. So we kept, it's really hard to explain it. I've had to do this a couple times now because I keep rambling too much trying to explain this, but I'm going to try and TLDR this a little bit. There's a building, the big building on, I'll move over. There's a maps picture here. There's a big building in yellow, a little diagonal thing that goes to another building in yellow at the bottom, right? So it's the top, then a diagonal thing, and then another smaller thing at the bottom, right? So that smaller one is the parking garage for the convention center. It literally says that it's the convention center lot. So I don't know if that's the exact words, but I think it's like Tacoma Center lot or something like that. It's for the convention center. That's why those are all in yellow. Why all those are a different color, because those are all connected buildings. They're all part of the same thing. That lot goes to the building. On the other side of that building, there's a Marriott. They have a lot connected to the building as well. Apparently, the staff has no idea at all that this the one at the bottom of the picture exists. Like, it's just like invisible to them or something. Like, they've never seen it before. None of them could tell us how to get to it from where we were. We were on the second floor. We found the Marriott opening where the Marriott garage opens up to I think it's the Marriott garage, but it's ADA. There's like all disabled parking or whatever. And it opens up with glass doors into the building itself, into the convention center itself, right next to an elevator. So, like, that would make sense because, you get, if you're in a wheelchair or if you're on crutches or something, you want the elevator, it's right there next to the thing, right? So you just take like a few steps or you roll the wheelchair just like 10 feet and you're at the elevator to go to whatever floor. And then, so we were asking them, we're like, where is this parking lot? We want to go to this building right here. We showed them on maps, on the Google Maps. We're like, this building right here. We want to go there. We're right here at the top of this. We were at the top right corner looking like like when we were looking at the garage, like the sliding door, what they called ADA garage, which is ADA is for disabled. So when we were looking at that, it was looking from where we were at the top right, and it was looking down towards the bottom left at the other garage that we wanted. And we're like, this is where we want to go. And they had no idea what we were talking about. They said, I pointed to it at the picture, and they said, that doesn't exist. It's on the picture. What are you talking about? Like, it's not even a picture. It was maps. I was able to, move the map thing around. It was on Google Maps, the app. And it was a live view of the streets. So I was like, how are you telling me it doesn't exist? It's right here. I'm pointing at it. And they had no idea what I was talking about. They acted as if I was the stupidest person on the planet. Like, what are you talking about? That doesn't exist. What? We were literally there. We know it exists. We know it's behind the building. And we know there's a little sky bridge outside that goes to the second floor of that, or the third or something, one of the floors of that garage. How do we get there? What bridge? What are you talking about? The one right here on the picture. It literally showed that little diagonal thing on the picture that you see, where the two buildings are connected by the diagonal thing. Whatever way it goes, I don't know, this is mirrored for me. Whatever way it goes, where it goes diagonal right to left from the one yellow building to the smaller yellow building, that's a bridge. That is a outdoor sky bridge where there's no windows, but it's like open air. We asked how to get there, pointed to it, and they said it doesn't exist. What are you talking about? What do you mean that doesn't exist? It's right here on the picture. So, or it's like it's right here on my phone. So we were like, what are you talking about? How are you this dumb? How are these people so incompetent at their own job? Why is the city paying these people to not know what they're talking about? So we gave up and said, screw it, we're walking out in the rain. And we just walked out in the rain. We were trying to avoid the rain. We don't want to get we were wearing white button, or I was at least wearing a white button down shirt. It was for Persona 3 with the blazer on. I don't want to get that destroyed. I don't want to get that all see-through and stuff from being drenched. But we just had to because no one there was competent enough to know how to do their own job. So, yeah, that was the bad part. Well, that was it. That was the whole bad thing. Was it basically, if we just didn't ask them anything and we just said screw it and had umbrellas maybe, because we didn't bring umbrellas, we didn't have room. So, like, it was just my bag that had stuff. We had stuff in the pockets of everything, so we couldn't bring any umbrellas. But yeah, whatever. This is already starting to aggravate me just thinking about it, because I'm tempted to call them and make an actual complaint, because they actually made us like an hour late leaving because they wouldn't stop acting like we were the stupid ones. So it was weird. And they were like talking down to us like we were children or something, and like we were making up stories or something. It was just, if you go to this building, just do not talk to them if you can help it. They're the ones who have to let you in. They have like the metal detectors. They have to let you in and stuff. They're also super stupid because they told, I guess one more thing. It's not really a big thing, but Atlas forgot that on his character, Junpei, he had a metal chain that goes around. He has a metal belt buckle that he can't take off. He can't take the belt off to go through it. It's actually super tight on the pants that he has, and it takes forever to get it on and off. So he can't just, he can't just do that. It takes a while. So he can't just take the belt off and go through the thing. So he forgot he had the chain on. He also had a necklace on that he forgot he had on. And they told him to take it off all the way, and then told him to just go through while he was still trying to take it off. And it was like, tell me one thing to do. Don't give me conflicting orders and then get mad that I'm not complying. They were getting mad at him because he wasn't walking through it when they told him to take it all off first. And then they're like, he'll just wand you, just do it, just go. They were like mad at us. We're like, you told us to take it off. What are you talking about? So if you can avoid it, do not talk to the staff members that are paid by the city at the building. They have no idea what they're doing. They're incompetent at their job. Every single one of them. I don't care who you are. If any of you see this, learn your job, please. Other than that, the convention was great. Everything else was fine. Luckily, they were very accommodating to ADA. I have a bad left knee, like it's really bad, and my back is pretty bad too. When I stand for too long in one place, or like, you know, if I'm standing and walking like that or something, like in a line, that's not really walking. That's just standing, shifting a little, standing more, you know. When I do that, it hurts really bad. And like, even if I were to sit over and wash my hands, let's say I was to overly wash, like if I have something like sticky, like if, oh, my contact cement, if I have to take the contact cement off my hands and I have to sit there and lean on the counter and, you know, do the thing with my hand with the like rubbing alcohol and a towel and stuff, or the Goo Gone to get it off, my back starts to hurt from leaning like that. So like really, really bad, to where it's like it physically hurts to straighten back up. That's how bad my back is. So they let me do ADA at this con and KomoriCon. So, and I haven't tried it at SoccerCon, but I'm gonna try this year and see what they do, because I don't technically have a doctor's note, and doctors suck, you know. You know the whole, oh, it's because you're overweight thing, when it's actually not. You know, like, this has been happening since high school when I weighed like 120 pounds. So it's definitely not that. And that wouldn't make one knee hurt. That would make both have a problem. That doesn't make any sense. So it's whatever. This con was it's one of those ones where they're like, we trust you. Just tell us, or like, you don't have to tell us even. Just get in the line. If you're in the ADA or a VIP line, we're gonna assume you're one or the other. And if we see you don't have a badge for VIP, we're just gonna assume you're ADA and telling the truth. I was like, I mean, that can be abused, but at the same time, there's not enough people there to really care. Most of the lines were like 3 or 4 people. That's not enough to hurt. So it's after, like, when it's like 20 minutes or 30 minutes of me standing in one spot like that. It really does that. So I was happy that they let us for the bigger lines. Like Susie, I'm not going to pronounce her last name because I can't. I'm not going to be that person who pronounces things incorrectly that aren't English, because that's messed up, and especially someone's name. So, but she plays Yuffie in Final Fantasy VII Remake, and a bunch of the other stuff that she does. Her line was big enough that we needed to do that. There was a couple others that we needed to do that, but other than that, it was like 3 or 4 people or nobody in line. That made it easy. If there's nobody in line, we just go up and pay and get the thing done, and we're done in like 5 minutes. Unless we're talking, and if there's no one in line, they kind of banter back and forth with you and stuff. You know, they talk to you a little bit. But like for example, I was in Dawn and Bennett's line, and there was no one behind her, and I had to bring back an item on Sunday because I forgot. We got all of them done except for that one because I forgot it on Friday. So whatever works. So we got like a ton. There's a ton of stuff here. I got it all on Friday except for the one because I left it here by accident. And when we went back into her line on Sunday to get this, there was no one behind me. There was one person in front of me and no one behind me. So we were talking a little bit, and I had given some of the guests some stuff. I gave her and Susie both Persona 3 armbands, the C's armbands that they wear, which, oh, you can't see it on there. This is a Persona 3 bag. But they have armbands and whatever. And so I gave one to each of them because they're new voice actors for it. Dawn, I was going to give one to Tara. I didn't realize Tara was in Persona 3 Reload because I thought they got all new voice actors, but she's the original Elizabeth. But so I thought they replaced her because they replaced everyone else. She's the only one they didn't replace. Didn't know that. So now I kind of screwed up and she doesn't have an armband. Oh well. Anyway, but when I gave Dawn hers, there was people in line, so we didn't talk or anything. So I just, was like, okay, yeah, thank and then we left. And then when we came back on Sunday, I was like, obviously, oh yeah, I was the one who gave you the thing yesterday. I brought this because I forgot it yesterday. She's like, oh yeah, I thought I recognized you guys, because you can recognize our faces or whatever. So we were talking for like 5 minutes or something like that because there was no one behind me. We weren't holding up the line, so it didn't really matter. And she was just gonna sit there silently waiting for people anyway. So if she can talk to someone, she might as well, right? So we were just talking for a little bit. But so that was nice. They weren't like trying to push people out when there was nobody there. So that was cool. Same with like when we went to see Team Ruby. So there was Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang. All their voice actors were there. And we got to film with all of them. I filmed Atlas because he was Junior and I was Roman. We filmed him with Barbara for Yang because Junior and Yang from the trailer. If you haven't watched it yet, It's from the Yellow trailer. Whatever. They have more interaction than with Roman, so I thought that'd be kind of funny. And then we went down the line from her to Blake to Weiss to Ruby, and we wanted Ruby last because it was Roman and Ruby. So we wanted to get his done first so that he could film everything else, and it just was one continuous thing that I'm just gonna cut up. So yeah, it was really fun though. And when we got to Ruby, she had a ball with it. It was hilarious. I loved that one. That was the one where it made more sense. But like, you know, we got to go up and like I got to Weiss's voice actor, I got to call her Ice Queen, and you know, she thought it was funny. Ruby, I got to call her Little Red like Roman does. So it worked out to be like a funny character moment thing, and they were all like talking in character and stuff, and it was amazing. You don't get to do that very much because a lot of voice actors don't want you recording anymore. Which is fine. I don't really care. That's why I ask ahead of time. I'll always go and get my thing signed. Ask them if I'm allowed to do that if I come back, and then if they say yes, I will come back later and do it. That way, I'm not holding up the line that entire time while I'm getting all this stuff signed and then recording. I will ask if I can ahead of time, and then so I'd ask them all on Saturday if I could, and they said yes, so we came back and did it Sunday. So that, yeah, made it easy. But a lot of the other ones don't let you because of AI stuff. They don't want they like, if they're going to do character voices to you, you can feed that through AI and start getting like their AI version voices. Don't do that, first off. If you do that, don't talk to me. I will not be your friend. I will hate you if you do that. As an artist myself, I will hate you for doing that if you do that. So I mean, not to me, but I don't really give, you know, it's not, no one's gonna do that to me. But to a voice actor, if you do that to them, you're a horrible person, right? So they don't like that because of that, because there's many of their characters have their regular voice, and they can feed that through the AI and get the voice of the character. You see what I mean? So they don't allow it, and that's totally fine. And like, I asked Alexis Tipton, and she wasn't allowing it. I asked I think 2 others, and they wouldn't allow it. Susie had a thing that literally said she didn't allow it, and a few others had that thing too, I think, that said it's not allowed. Video and audio are not allowed. You know, so that makes sense. And so I didn't even bother asking those ones. But the ones who said no, I was like, oh, no, that's fine. That's totally fine. You know, that's why I ask first. I don't just come up with a camera in your face, you know? And then the ones that I did, I even had my camera on me sometimes. They're like, I can't get it put away and do all this stuff, or I'm holding up the line. And I was like, don't worry, this isn't on. It's just, I couldn't put it away yet. You know, and I was showing them, just letting you know this isn't on, so I'm not recording you, don't worry. Things like that. You know, everyone was cool, you know. Honestly, yeah. So the only other thing that I guess would be bad, you know, that there's nothing to do. So I think I mentioned it. I'm not sure. But yeah, there's nothing to really do. So it's a small con. There's nothing we can do about it. I'm not going to blame the convention for it. It's their first time doing this con. We don't expect them to be super busy or super big. There's not going to be a lot to do. This happens at every small con. Chibi Chibi Con, there's nothing to do all day. There's a couple panels that might be fun, but we never go to them. And that's only like a 10-hour thing anyway. But the point is it's small and there's nothing to do there. AkiCon was the same way when that was a thing. I don't even know if they exist anymore, but they suck. But same with WasabiCon PDX, which used to be Fandom PDX, which used to be NewCon and Anime PDX. None of those had much to do. And so, you know, this was about the size of what like those smaller cons would be, like AkiCon or what is now WasabiCon PDX, those type of things, about the same size, getting about the same amount of people. Since this one also runs SummerCon, they probably, you know, they put it on SummerCon so people there saw it, so they can get more attention because they have another place to advertise to people. So, you know, they were a little bigger for their first year than any other con would be. But yeah, other than that, you know, you could see all the vendors in like 30 minutes or less, maybe even 10 minutes, because there wasn't very many. You couldn't look through to see all the stuff in that long, but if you were looking through and like, oh, keychains, cool stickers, prints, awesome, you get through in like 30 minutes, maybe 45. And then they had, sadly, this sucks, they had 2 food places, one of them had an insane line. Like, the line was like down the whole wall. It was insane. It was like there had to be like 100 people in line, or like at least 50, if not 100, in line. And I was like, we're not standing in that line. And the only other one that was around, it was a food place, was right outside the vendors hall doors. There's multiple doors, and then in between each door there was like 2 stations. One was a coffee station. I don't drink coffee. The other one was a food station, and they only had pre-made stuff. I'm lactose intolerant, and there's many vegetables with juices that I don't like tomatoes. Those are put on those pre-made things. So first off, cheese, you can just take that off probably. But like with tomatoes, Atlas looked, he said pretty much all of them, it looked like, had tomatoes on them. And I was like, well, that's just the juices are going to get everywhere, and everything's going to have the tomato taste to it. So I can't have any of these. So, and then it was either that, or salad, or cupcakes. I was like, I don't want cupcakes for lunch. Are you kidding me? I need actual food. I need like a turkey sandwich or something. And we couldn't eat all day. So we were screwed, because there was no way we were getting in that other line, or we were going to miss a bunch of stuff. Especially Friday. If we were trying to get all of our stuff done Friday and we got in that line, we were never going to get all of it done, because we were going to be in that line for like 2 hours. So there's nothing we can do. We ended up going home starving, basically. And like, I was like my mouth was dry. It was getting harder to talk, you know, that kind of thing. So when I got home, we just like scarfed stuff down, basically, because we were so hungry. But other than that, yeah, like I said, everything was fine. So I don't know what else to say. I don't give conventions actual like grades. Like I don't go, oh, they get an A+, or they get a 100%, or you know, something like that. I don't do that, or 5-star or whatever. I don't do that. I say things, and then I let you decide if you should go or not. So based on the things that I said, if you want to go, go. If you don't, don't. That kind of thing. But anyway, that's going to be the end of this video. If you like it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys later.